turned me into such, all you granted me was lust. And what I seemed to grow was lust. Are you displeased? Are you angry? My mighty, my angels' wings have been bruised every strain. Those who break to blood are so fumes in vain. So believe in me and collect. I'm your leader today. Rise! So speak for me, little sister. Wanna leave you for another master. Leave you in a pool of water. The one I think's my alma mater.
Checking, I found a thing. It said, "Oh, you're not in a supported browser." I was like, "Okay, well, supported browser," and that's all of them. I have the most updated version of Edge. What do you mean?
Why are you using Edge?
Because Edge
It's
is
good
better
for
than
what I
Chrome.
need. What?
Chrome is really bad. Also, we're live.
Look,
It's-
I get it, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't interfere with what I have to do.
The only time I use Chrome is because Chrome is actually one of the few that Roll20 has 0 issues with. So I do use it
Yep.
for that.
I don't have any issues with Roll20 on Edge.
Yeah, I use primarily Opera because that one works really well. I've never had an issue with it, except when I'm trying to get on Roll20 because Roll20 hates its guts. Roll20 hates the guts of most browser systems.
Well, yes, it's because Roll20
Chrome
has
works.
weird
I'm
memory.
not gonna mess with it again.
That's because Roll20 has weird memory leaks, which is really weird considering it's not like a
Yeah.
program.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like I said, Chrome works. It stays on Chrome. I'm not interested in troubleshooting something else.
All right.
Anyway, let us know when we're live, Rick.
We've been live for like a minute.
Oh,
Dear Jesus.
I
I
literally
would have appreciated if you had told me that.
No, I literally said, "And we're live," and then you guys started talking about browsers.
Okay,
I did not hear
that's
that.
my fault. Welcome back, everyone, to the next session of ERP Dragons. I have to go and address something real quick, so if someone would please give the recap while I'm gone.
I'm not
Gotcha,
editing it
Sam.
out.
Yeah, Rupert, if you could pretty please
Yeah, I
do that.
gotcha.
I don't have my notebook with me.
Gotcha. In a second.
You're the best.
The group, as it begins with, the group starts discussing on what to do before a squire from the Corpse of Remembrance approaches. Approaches them. There's a big giant construct. It contains a gift, which is a dragon gold dagger and some sort of dragon stone. A chest full of dragon stones as a thing of gratitude. Everyone selects their own various stones, with including Boy, who takes his own. Lessla and Cheese decide to go talk to the general. Corvus and Sapphire go to collect the carts and the remainder of the horses. and Lyari decides to stay back at camp. When Lessla and Cheese arrive at the manor where the general is stationed at the moment, they discover like the second story is smoking, and are told that essentially when they tried to look into the communication device, it kind of self-destructed. Lessla then explains or recounts our situation and what we've learned. Cheese mentions about the sickness of the forest and is assured that it will fade in time. We learned there's a third orange wizard. Leslie goes to talk to them and then asks about recovering their memory from the Obliviacs, as it was mentioned that they had managed to capture it. Meanwhile, at camp, Lyari noticed Sindris arrive in camp, bothered her for a second before going back about his business. Eventually, the rest of the group returns about the same time. Lessla says, "Hey, I might be able to get us our memories back. We just gotta stay the night." So we said, "Sure, fine. What's one more day?" Then she arrives. This is a moon elf, and we all partake. Many of us are poisoned. We learn that her name is Zay, as well as all apprentice wizard level or entry level ones within this orange robed group. And it's very complicated. We don't learn much, but learn a lot. That makes sense. And
Weird elven cloning shit. I don't know.
yeah, it's weird elf magic stuff that just makes no sense. So, yeah, trying to stall. Do. Oh, I know there was
the fact that boy got himself a little gemstone.
Yeah, I did mention that.
Oh,
You said that.
I must have been eating my dinner to hear.
Yes, because everyone knows you turn off your hearing whenever you're eating.
Hey, look. Sometimes the music is too loud, so I can't see.
So you have to turn down the volume, especially while you're driving.
Yes.
And you're trying to find the house you're gonna stop at.
So what you're
Exactly.
telling me is that Harume
there was
is like
also-
a grazing cow when she eats.
We just have auditory processing issues. There's a difference.
I will say
Thank you,
also
Baron.
there was a bit of contention about from you, Harume. I know you were like, "Hey, did Leslie mention it?" And I was
Did
rewatching the
Lessla
video.
say
Yes,
specifically?
I rewatched the video. Rex said this. It was, and I quote, "I didn't say this, but Leslie would have said this. There's a high chance this thing is poisonous."
Okay. I think I misheard that as I'm saying this, but Lessla wouldn't. Okay.
No.
Okay, in that case, Sapphire did not partake in the Obliviacs.
But you did. You rolled for it.
Oh, that's right. Fuck. Well, whatever. She made. What's important is that she made the.
Cheese has lesser
informed
restoration. It's
decision.
fine.
I passed, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
But the important thing is that Sapphire made the informed decision.
Yeah.
She knew, and she did it, though. Whatever.
Cheese has lesser restoration anyways. It's fine.
It's not like we're going to be traveling for a week, 2 weeks, however long.
So
Yeah.
I will also clarify, Obliviacs poison is basically about as bad as like really lingering food poisoning. It's not deadly in any way. It's just you're gonna feel like crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Just you just get back all your memories from being blackout drunk. You're just hungover.
Yeah, it's like the opposite.
It
of
is
being
essentially
drunk,
like the hangover from hell that lasts a couple days. Yes.
except you remember everything.
Yeah, except you remember everything, every moment of it.
That's why it's from hell.
Exactly. Precisely. Among other reasons. Anyway,
Anywho.
getting back into it. You all have rested through the night soundly once again. Come the morning, you are not disturbed. It's up to you as to what you're doing.
I
Cheese
think,
is packing up to get ready to go back to Waterdeep.
yeah,
So is Sapphire.
we had prepared to leave beforehand, and now it's time to actually go.
I will do one thing while we're all like getting breakfast, essentially. Like, because you need to eat before you travel. It just
Yeah.
you're gonna have fucking issues. Is Lara's still here, right?
Laura, still here, yes.
She hasn't, because I haven't got it in my notes anymore. But she hasn't mentioned what her plans are, right?
She has seemingly latched onto you, but no one has really checked with her as to what exactly she
Right.
wants to do.
So while we're all eating
I think
breakfast,
Lessla might have asked at one point and got a kind of maybe.
I did ask, right, as when everything was all over and done, I asked, what are your plans? And I got a, I don't know. And then I proceeded to give her advice, and if you want to help, ask what people need, and then walked away.
Got it.
Yep.
Well, I think because Corvus wouldn't have heard that conversation, has no context of that conversation.
Yeah.
During breakfast, he will sort of like maybe like a little after breakfast, because he's not the type to draw attention to himself or other people. He will like maybe like go to help her with whatever preparation she needs to do, and then while he's doing that, we'll be like, excuse me, Miss Lara.
She looks up from her food. It takes a moment to swallow. Yes?
Well,
Did you want something from me?
I was just wondering what your plans were after this, as we're all leaving now.
Well... She kind of takes a moment, looks down at the new dagger that she has strapped to her hip. I mean, they all seem to think I'm one of you at this point. But I don't really know how to do this type of thing. I mean, I'm really grateful that you've all let me stay with you. I just don't know if I can really pull my own weight.
Well, that's fine. What I'm more concerned with is, well, this Thousand Fangs faction. You're on the radar now, and even before. I just want to make sure that what you planned on, you're safe while doing it.
Yeah, I should definitely do that.
If you're targeted by them, you could always ask the folks at the Corpse of Revengeance, Remembrance, to maybe look out for you. And if you don't want to linger around here, you could travel with us to Waterdeep. I know there's some of them around there as well.
I think I'll probably head to Waterdeep for the time being. It seems safer than here, at least. And it'll be nice to sleep in an actual bed again for months. Assuming that I can find a place that's open. Is it true that they're pretty crowded?
At the moment, I couldn't tell you. I don't really use the buildings much.
She looks like she's gonna ask, then remembers who she's talking to and doesn't.
But your capabilities, they'll probably be more than willing to help you out.
Oh, that's good to hear, at least. It is okay if I travel with you for now, at least, right?
That would be what I recommend.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Thank you, Corvus. I appreciate it.
There's a subtle, like, fist spasm when she says his name, but returns quickly to normal. And he just nods.
She goes back to eating her food, but she seems a little brighter, I guess is the word.
Hmm.
Anything anyone else will be doing, or no?
Cheese is just getting everything ready. She's probably got one of her bugs chilling on her horn right now.
I imagine Corvus let the cat sleep in the tent while he slept outside. So
She'd leave
so
you
real of
alone.
him.
Please,
Maybe.
she was
I don't
sleeping on
know.
your chest.
No, she would take the tent.
Yeah.
Okay.
She would absolutely take the tent.
Yeah, I thought so. That's why I would offer it to her.
You don't get a chance to offer. She's in there
Huh.
before you are.
That's
Remember what you're
fucking
talking.
cool.
Remember, you are in fact referring to a cat.
Yeah. Cheese is talking to one of her bugs that's just chilling on her horn.
Important. Which one would this be? Is this the angry centipede?
Oh, that thing's gonna
Yes,
die in it.
actually.
Oh, it's
No,
insane.
she's trying to socialize the centipede.
It glares menacingly at you. It has downgraded from attacking the lid to simply glaring with disdain and menace.
And as it's curled around her, the base of her horn. He's like, "Oh, quiet, you. This is the best life you'll ever get. You'll never have to hunt for anything ever again."
You see its little mandibles twitch in anger, but it makes no response.
You know, maybe it likes hunting.
Oh, that's nice. Do you like hunting? Do you want to go? Or do you want to stay here?
It makes no response, but doesn't budge.
That's what I thought.
The menace still lingers, but it doesn't act aggressive.
But you're pouting. We'll be moving soon.
The menace continues.
I just remembered something. Lessla is going to go talk to Sapphire.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. During the morning, probably after we're done eating breakfast, Lessla will come to you, Sapphire, and says, "Miss Eldercrow, may I examine your bow?"
My bow.
Yes.
Why?
I wish to see the state of its maintenance.
I'm just gonna watch Lessla for a second or two before sighing and letting her examine it.
Lessla will take the bow. She does treat it with a lot of care, almost like if you, I don't know if you ever watched a smith actually examine a weapon properly, but she pulls the bow back, tests its strength. You know that she is able to actually pull it back quite easily, despite her relatively small figure.
You can pull a bow back with 3 strength. It's fine.
Hmm. And she lets it go, and she then holds it out based on 2 fingers and watches as it kind of swings on a slight pendulum and says, well, it's probably common quality. When we get back to Waterdeep, if you wish, I can improve your bow slightly, reinforce it, make sure the string is properly oiled. It's up to you. It is an offer. If we are going to continue to work together, then you will need to be as effective as possible. And as I offered before, I am a smith, and my training is similar to that of dwarves. I will just require you to provide the money so I can get the materials to improve your weapons.
Sapphire, after a moment of silence and a kind of glance in a different direction, for seemingly no reason, just go, all right. And if you want me to be the most effective, I suppose I should ask you for some advice concerning magic.
Lessa, you see as her, because her eyes are clouded behind her green glasses, you see as her eyebrows shoot up. As the moment you talk about anything magical, her interest is immediately piqued.
It's like that scene in anime where the glasses light up with the shine of the sun. Like, haha, this is my calling.
And what magic is it that you need help with?
The arcane variety.
And the source of said magic?
Out of character. Does Sapphire even understand how she was able to just arcane trickster?
Partially. You know that there is something that resonates with you in the book that you have.
Okay.
Like, somehow, some way, that is... you can connect easily with that specific book.
Okay.
And the specific spells within it. But otherwise...
The source is from, and she will, pick up the book that she has been kind of like, on the few nights that they've been here, just been like staring intently at. This.
Lessla looks at the book.
It is similar to the book you picked off the cultist. In fact, it's got the same spells in it. I have a feeling those are passed around pretty frequently. This one, however, is written in a very different cant. Like, different schools of magic, different areas have different ways they do spells. This is very much not a Faerunian form of spell casting. This is from somewhere else. It's still from the material plane. You can definitely tell that. This isn't Fey magic. It's similar to your draconic form of school of casting, but someone's taken basically they've taken a different path to get to the same place.
Where did you get this book?
You're not going to believe me, but Corvus's cat gave it to me.
Have you asked him about the cat?
I honestly don't know how to ask him about that. I mean, I did out of character. I think I asked him to thank the cat for me for the book.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I asked him to thank the cat for me for giving me this book, but beyond that, she just shrugs.
Well, I am not going to bore you with the infinitesimal details of all magic and its foundations, but the foundation of this book is similar to my magics. If I had to say, I would say that
Sapphire just nods.
more than likely, whoever wrote this school of magic either was related to the person who founded my school of magic, or they were partners in coming up with a school of magic and had diverging ideals. To put it frankly, this magic is attempting, at least from what I can tell, to try and recreate the magic of dragons. Just in a very different way than mine is. Basically, the foundation is at the same place, the path is different, but the end result is the same.
Lessla, now that you've been looking over it a little bit, go ahead and this would be an Arcana check. Yes, your thing to do with dragons will come into play.
But
And while,
yes,
and
but
while
yes,
you're
it's a
rolling that, so does this mean you can or can't help me?
you're also still poisoned.
Oh, you're right.
Yes.
So it'll be the first one.
It'll be the 21. Well, that's still really good.
Yep.
So, with 21, you recognize faintly this in like your study on like magic theory. Some of the spell components, what really tips you off is that the bits on illusion, the material components that they recommend inside the spell book. They use jade. Jade in illusion magic is very much tied to the spellcasting of Karatur.
Interesting. The requirements of magic of jade as a spellcasting component in some of these spells would indicate that this comes from the Eastern Knights of Karatur.
That's what Rivelin mentioned, yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if instead of being people that work together, this was instead two people that happened to come across that had the same idea in separate locations. Similar to how spears were created by multiple cultures around the same times, but not with any but without communication.
Sapphire is just nodding, listening. Again, I ask, so can or can't you help me with this?
I can assist you as best I can, but at the end of the day, the assistance I can render is based on what your intention is.
That character, just let me look at my spells really quick. Let me look at them. I mean, mostly to help while we travel and everything.
If that is the case, then I can assist you in putting new spells to the book, but that the type of magic utility that you are seeking is one that you will have to craft on your own.
Okay.
But if you ever need to learn what the foundation of magic is, I'd be happy to go over the lessons that my own master has given me.
I mean, I've studied some magic in my free time as a kind of hobby, so I don't think I need that.
Well, just remember, all magic needs intent.
Right.
And,
Thank you.
Lessla will then look to you and says, and if that cat did indeed retrieve that magic book for you, I would ask Corvus about the cat. It seems more... what's the word? Sapient than one might first assume. And she walks off.
Good talk.
All right. If there is there anything else? I know something else was just brought up.
Yeah. Corvus.
Yeah, Corvus is
I mean,
finishing.
if we're starting to move Sapphire, we'll talk with Corvus as they walk because
Yeah,
But yeah, I feel like
we
this.
don't need to sit
yeah,
here
walking.
and talk
Mhm.
for hours.
there's little exclamation points above everyone's head. Staff has to run around and fulfill all the conversation.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have a conversation with Corvus. Respecting his space. Sapphire will kneel down or bend over, depending on if they're walking or still at camp, and gently give Boy some pets, scritches, attention, and look to Corvus. Can I ask you something?
His eyes momentarily fall on you.
I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yeah.
So, you know how I mentioned for you to thank that cat for me for getting me my, well, now spell book?
He nods.
Yeah, do you know why they brought me a spell book?
Just looks to the cat. Who I met. Is she on his shoulder or is she somewhere else?
No,
right now?
she's on the ground doing cat things. You know that thing where they like roll on their back on the ground. She's
Yeah.
doing that.
Not
I
to
thought we were
come to that.
traveling at this point.
She's doing it in the cart.
Okay. Shrugs.
And Sapphire is mostly thinking to herself, and this is why it was hard to figure out how to talk to Corvus about this.
The cat at this point sits up, stretches, and just kind of looks at Sapphire.
I know I can't understand you, but one, thank you for giving me this book. It's really broadened my abilities a little. And two, how did you know to give me the book? I'm not expecting an answer because you are a cat. I just
Sapphire, roll me a perception check.
shit. I imagine Sapphire
Okay.
like if this doesn't make it, she just has her eyes closed in that moment because
The
you are a
cat rolls over and stretches once more.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected.
This Corvus like just pats the cat a little bit.
So she leans into it hard. You can hear her start to purr.
Yeah, you can. I think that's enough praise for you today.
Okay, you very visibly see the cat stop and glare at you for a second, Corvus. Not angrily, indignantly.
Yeah. Corvus gives the shares a look at the cat of like.
Does Sapphire see this?
Yes, it's very obvious.
just gives it a little scratch under the chin. Finishes packing up.
Definitely probably the most unique cat I've ever met.
Don't get used to
Just a raised eyebrow with slight concern, like, what are you planning on doing with the cat? That sounded vaguely threatening.
kind of just kind of looks, sees that look and goes, yeah. She's only here for this trip. Then I gotta return her.
So, someone lent you their cat for this trip.
Someone owed me a favor.
At this point, the cat is looking between Corvus and Sapphire whenever one of them speaks. Very, very interested in the conversation.
I imagine it's like, oh, how is this going to play out?
If that were the look, if you could see that look on a cat, that would be the look. Yes.
Where's the pup? Okay. Not sure how. I mean, the cat did come in handy because my spell book now. But who had the foresight to send a cat that would? I don't even know how to phrase these questions anymore.
Roll a perception check, Sapphire.
I'm just looking at Corvus, like.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't.
Actually, where is everyone right now? If you're traveling in the carts.
Probably Lesla's probably sitting right next to them then.
Corvus,
Yeah. I wonder if it would be Lessla or Cheese.
Corvus keeps his distance from the rest of the group, sure.
Yeah.
He's not feeling like weight.
I'm aware, but there's only so many carts.
Yeah, there's only so much cart.
Yeah.
Actually,
So I'm wondering who's in what
He's just
cart.
probably walking alongside the cart.
Lessla, because Lessla can speak with animals, she's probably at the front of one of the carts.
Is she driving one of the carts?
Probably.
Okay.
So Sapphire and Corvus are the only one in this card. I guess Zarfea and
Seems
Laura
like it,
are
yeah.
the only ones in the other. At least I think Zarfea was coming.
Orphea,
right?
Laura, and Lyari.
Yeah.
She prefers to walk. She doesn't like wheels.
What if they're wheels of cheese? I'm so sorry.
Oh, to hell.
I'm so sorry. It was there.
To be
It
fair,
was
Merrick,
there.
you did bring this on yourself.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, so I guess it's just me, Corvus, Boy, and Calico. And
Yes.
Flowers, but yeah.
Yes.
Is Flowers seeing this cat doing faces?
Flowers is in your hair.
That's like you could still see outside my hair. Possible.
I imagine that the cat and Flowers probably know about each other, but they have chosen to to keep each other secret. That's my headcanon for that interaction.
Okay.
Yeah. She,
But yeah, basically Sapphire's like, I don't even know how to ask these questions anymore.
I was told that the cat would be of assistance, and she has. So
I can't argue with that, and Sapphire will kind of hold her, gently move her hand close to Calico.
Oh,
to see if
immediately
she will
leans
attempt
into
that.
it.
Okay, yeah, I'm giving her scratches behind the ears.
You know, you put your hand out to a cat, and the cat like leans into it and like, yes.
This is like my work wellness manager, a cat named Jerry. He's so fat and old, but he will scream at you until you start petting him.
Oh, I just remembered something. Lessla is going to give one of the spell scrolls that she has and send it and have Clout deliver it to Sapphire. Specifically to speak with animals because I don't need it.
Okay. So Sapphire, as this is going on, a bright red pseudo dragon lands in the cart next to you, and plops down a spell scroll, and then looks at you expectantly.
I blink at it because I was not anticipating this. Pick up the spell scroll, look at it for a second, look at Klaus. Gently
Klaus
give.
is still looking at you expectantly.
I give him some pets and say thank you.
He looks pleased with himself and flies back.
Okay.
Fuck, we have 2 cats.
We do have 2 cats.
Klaus is
That
just
has been the joke, yes.
And Sapphire can cast this scroll, right?
I believe with our rules, anyway. Did we adopt that house rule? That anyone can cast any spell, they just
Regardless,
need the
speak
Arcana?
with animals, I believe, is a wizard spell. So
It is not.
It is not.
It is
It is
a
not.
bard and druid.
Right. Well, regardless, yes, that is what I'm going by. If you can cast magic, you can use one of these scrolls.
Cool.
If you have a basic understanding.
Okay. So I see it speak with animal. I look at the scroll. I look to the cat.
This time you don't have to make a perception check. The cat raises an eyebrow at you.
Okay.
You didn't think that was possible.
I'm gonna look at that just look at the cat for a hot second. And then look
The
to
more you look at the
Corvus.
spell scroll, the more the cat begins to grin.
I'm rolling insight against this cat. I get the distinct impression it's gonna be like that damn chicken in your Legends of the 5 Rings thing, and I don't want a repeat of that.
The cat is very amused by the prospect of you opening that up and using it right now. That amuses the cat greatly.
I'm being quiet.
I am putting the scroll away because I don't want the cat to just instead of actually speaking in cat, we'll just say meow in cat. I've learned my lesson, Shadow.
You want to know what's funny? Pease has already cast Speak with Animals and attempted to speak to the cat, and she refused to speak to her.
She doesn't like you, though.
She doesn't?
You
No.
stepped on her tail.
No, that was...
Oh yeah, I did on
Did you?
accident.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, you did step
Yeah.
on her tail. I thought it was Sapphire that stepped on her
In the
tail.
middle of the night.
No,
Yeah.
it was me. I was coming back from sneaking around.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, Sapphire puts it away because she doesn't trust the cat to, because Lessla mentioned that this cat has some level of sentience. And now this cat is raising an eyebrow and now looks
Yeah.
very amused at the idea that I could use this spell right now.
You go to put it away. You look back, and the cat is just normally licking the back of her paw, the same way a cat would.
I'm glad I was the catalyst for this interaction.
Huh.
Sapphire just rolls her eyes and goes back to petting the cat. Because
She
clearly
still
the
accepts it.
It's like, you are way too cunning for your own good, aren't you?
At this
One
point,
last perception check.
I really want the cat to wink at Sapphire at this point.
That is exactly what happens with the 24.
Just a chorus almost has a facial expression of "Now you know, now you know my hell."
Now you know my hell.
But he can't say.
I like to own a cat normally.
Sapphire just nods. And she will just continue petting the cat until the cat just wants to not be pet anymore.
Do that for a while.
4 hours
It's gonna
later.
be at it for a while. Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting in a cart. I've got nothing better to do.
Mm-hmm.
I will hesitate if she offers for me to rub her belly. Because I know that's a trap.
Meanwhile, Lessla is trying her best to keep the horse to keep the cart in the middle of the road.
Lady Silverster, do you need my help?
I'm fine. I can speak to the animals now too.
Well, I mean, it's also...
Okay. If you're
Never
speaking with
mind.
animals, then this is a very important question. Which horse are you having drive this cart?
Oh, I don't know.
What are the options?
It's Chestnut and
Is it
the
Colonel
other two.
Chestnut or one of the
Chestnut,
Yes.
Schmuck
one of the
1,
normal
Schmuck 2.
horses?
I think it'd be one of the actual cart horses because I think Chestnut's
Okay.
a war horse.
He is.
He is.
Colonel Chestnut is a war horse, but they can be used as draft horses.
I imagine
he
he's
can.
too proud to pull a cart.
If you asked him, he would do it.
These would have politely asked him if he could help pull a cart.
He would offer to, and I quote, gladly show these young whippersnappers how to properly do a job.
Jesus.
Oh,
If
God.
if nobody else begins conversation with her, then Cheese is having fun talking to Colonel Chestnut.
I don't know who's driving the second cart. I just know that Lessla is driving the one in the front.
From the options we have, it's probably Corvus.
He's not fully driving. He's just walking alongside for the most part.
Horses are good about following each other even without drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess then that would mean that Lessla is with Colonel Chestnut. So that's probably a shared conversation between us three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The colonel has been regaling you with a war story.
Oh, that's
His
very intense.
Oh, yes, I suppose it is, isn't it? Oh, no, where was I?
We were at the part where
Oh,
you were
yes.
jumping over the palisade.
Ah, yes, quite right. What a glorious battle that was. Let me tell you.
Cheese is just encouraging him
goes
the entire
on
time.
ad
Cheese is very
infinitum.
intrigued.
Lessla
He's never actually heard of a war story before.
Lessla has the most like sardonic look on her face and how much she believes Colonel Chestnut. And she just looks to Cheese and shakes her head.
Lady Silverster, isn't it amazing? He's done so many great things. He's a hero.
he's 3.
Indeed, it is.
So, Lessla, go ahead and roll me a history check.
Sure thing. God. Oh, that should be with disadvantage.
Okay, just roll it again.
Oh, that's an 18 again.
Oh, cool.
Okay, yeah. So, the battles he's naming, they, as far as you know, the Purple Dragon Knights have been in each of them. Like, these are actual battles they have taken part in.
Mhm.
The timeline does seem to fit. How much embellishment there might be is another matter entirely.
Oh no, that's why Lessla is like, I believe him. Like, she believes that they happened. She doesn't believe they happened that way.
Yes, a single warhorse, while carrying a fully laden down knight, leaping 20 feet to, and I quote, dispatch the vicious enemy with his glorious, his glorious mane and mighty rider.
He's a very
That might be
carefully,
a little bit of
brushing
an
his
exaggeration.
mane. Cheese is very carefully brushing his mane as they're walking. Although
It is
if he's a
glorious
war
mane.
horse, then it's probably shorn.
Surprisingly not.
And
It-
she's
it-
just taking small bits of it and then braiding it and then unbraiding it as they're
Yeah.
walking. 'Cause
It
fun
looks
fact,
like it
can't
was
actually-
tied at one point, but it is
That.
no longer.
Okay. Interesting. Cheese is just kind of enjoying his stories. Lady Silverster, you should write these in a book. I think your penmanship is far better than mine.
If... What would I call this? What would I call this book? Warhorse? I heard that snicker. I heard it.
Oh dear God.
I'm sure that it will be so inspirational. I'll try and make plays about it.
Oh, I'm certain they will. Or they'll never find such a fabulous actor as you. And she'll pat Colonel Chestnut.
He is largely lost in his own world, telling you these stories. Surprisingly, he has not repeated one as of yet.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of stories. How
It
old
has
did you
at
say
this
you
point
were
been several hours.
Yeah.
I'm still
How-
petting the
how-
cat.
again? Colonel Chestnut, how old did you say you were again?
Hmm? Oh, yes.
You can see him think for a second. Like he actually stops pulling the cart for a second to think.
No, let's keep walking. We need to keep moving.
Oh, yes, of course.
I just every time you say he
Been so
stops
long,
to
I think I might have forgotten.
every time you say he stops to think, I just imagine him stopping and lifting up his front leg to rub his chin.
Like,
Yes.
I am imagining the exact same thing. Trust me, even though I know it's not possible.
We need to. I can't wait till we hit 9th level and Cheese can awaken Colonel Chestnut.
She's in true polymorph, Colonel Chestnut.
oh no. Then I could actually turn him into Carrington's little drawings.
Oh my god, yeah.
Cheese is just letting Colonel Chestnut talk for as long as he wishes.
Oh, he will not stop.
Cheese seems content to let him tell his stories. She has not spoken about herself whatsoever.
Lara and Zarfea do not contribute to the conversation.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
How long we got? 9 days of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 9 days of consistent neighing.
Yeah. Shadow, Mr. Man, can I ask you the funny little question that you probably knew I was going to ask, that I ask anytime there's been a long
absolutely.
period of time? What phase is the moon currently?
Currently, let's see, I believe I told you last time it was...
I don't have my notebook on me, unfortunately.
The last time we
Yeah.
had was I think we're getting approaching a half moon.
Yeah, so it is a little bit past a half moon at this point.
Okay. Do you think by the time that we get back to Waterdeep, it'll be a full moon?
It'll be just shy of it.
Okay. Taking note of that.
Along the way back, Lessla has something she wants to talk to Laura and Zarfea about.
Okay. Also, since you're the one running that cart, driving that cart, you can go ahead and make a perception check to see if you notice something. It will be with disadvantage because you're not looking at them
On top of
consistently.
being poisoned.
Poisoning would have worn off by now.
Okay, so it's been what, 4 days?
I have consistently rolled doubles with disadvantage
my
the entire
gosh.
time.
Oh dear God.
So
I-
you don't notice this.
Well, we're running into a ditch.
You notice the obvious thing that Lara's been passing her time reading, but that's it.
Mhm.
Zarfea has not, though. Given what you know about her, you can piece together as to why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At some point in the time, Lessla would individually go to Lara and Zarfea and she would, over like the course of like 5 days, she gets various lengths of branches, and she asks each of them to hold whichever one looks most suited to them in whatever stance is natural to them.
Upon asking that question, you get a confused look from each of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need to elaborate as to what you mean.
I think I know exactly what she means.
I do too, but they
yes. Okay. Well, I'll make this a little more simpler. Think of these as weapons. The shorter sticks here are short swords. This one here is a rapier. That one's there's a long sword. This one here is an axe or a maul. I wish for you to pick whichever one you think suits you and to hold it in its most natural position. That way I can figure out what type of weapon best suits you. As good as the Dragon Gold daggers are, and I look at Laura specifically, it is still a fairly short weapon, and eventually you will need to, especially if you are going to continue with us, although you may stay in Waterdeep, but you still will need a weapon to defend yourself. Cities can be rough sometimes. You will need to have something that is a little more practical than a ceremonial dagger. Or that dirk. And she looks specifically at Laura's dagger that she has not used at all since we met her.
Mm-hmm. Laura nods, and she takes a while to think about it. Zarfea just grabs one of the larger ones, and she grabs one of the larger ones, and after playing like a sort of getting a feel for it for a second, trying to think as to what that would be for her. Truth be told, you said most natural. She's gonna sling it over her shoulder, like a lumberjack's axe. It's the same type of thing.
All right. With this,
or like if you've ever seen a if you ever seen like a baseball player,
yeah,
like that over the shoulder blowing gum, that is the exact posture she has.
If you would, Zarpe, could you please make a swing with this?
She takes a few steps back, and you see why. She swings it wide and hard. There, it is all force, no grace.
All force, no grace. Okay.
Yes. It is just swinging as hard as she can in the general direction of something.
All right. And Lessla nods and says, based on how you swung it, I think a maul would suit you best.
I don't really know what that is.
It's a large hammer that is easily able to break down structures if used correctly. The way you swing, although you will need to learn to not put your hands together, as that is quite detrimental to actually holding on to the weapon. The way you swing, the amount of power you put into it, the amount of force you could put into a maul strike could crush armors.
She seems to be coming around to the idea.
Mm-hmm. And I will look at Laura.
Alara, after a time, has found one of the, what is pretty much like the smallest and lightest branch there is,
Mm-hmm.
and is basically just holding it. If you were to assume this was a dagger and sheath, she is holding the sheath and the hilt, just kind of in front of her, like you would be ready to draw it.
Hmm. At which point Lessla thinks about it and says, I think, and she pulls out her regular dagger that she carries around and
Mhm.
says, Laura, if you would please throw this into that tree.
She blinks a couple times. You want me to do what?
That tree is someone attacking you. Throw the dagger at it.
She takes a moment, and takes it from you. And, she does indeed throw it at it. Did you give it to her unsheathed?
Yes.
Okay. She throws it at it. It's much like if someone just yeeted a stick at something near them. There's no finesse to it.
No technique.
There's no finesse, no technique. The flat of the blade impacts squarely on the side of the tree and clangs off into the brush.
Protect the baby.
Yep. Lessla, using her mage hand to pull the dagger back to them, will say is, no, not like that. Watch. And Lessla, with practiced precision, holds the dagger with kind of cradling it a little bit in her hand and says is, the art of throwing a dagger is, well, usually it's a last resort. But, and she assumes like a stance, holding the dagger probably about 6 inches behind her ear, in the cradle, with her hand upturned, and says is, you want to release the dagger at the right point so that it will be facing your opponent as they are coming towards you. And she says is, now there are 2 ways of throwing weapons. There's the way that I'm doing, which is more for if an opponent is running from you. But then there's also, and she deftly twists the blade, holding it fully by the hilt, says this way, which is meant more as a distraction, and she throws the blade at the tree.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a attack roll with that.
Natural one, maybe.
Possibly.
That'd be funny.
It would be real funny. Do I have a regular dagger in my inventory?
You should.
I should, as a
You
wizard,
definitely
yes.
should.
Oh well, I'll just...
Don't know how you would have lost it.
Yeah.
Fire, leaving it behind.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Boy, took it. It's in my hoard now.
Point.
I'll just throw that. Oh, that's a 19.
Okay. Yeah, you, it impacts straight onto the tree. Remind me, which stone did you have in that thing?
Fire.
I had
Yeah.
the firestone.
Yeah, it embeds in the tree, and the tree starts to smoke
Oh, and Lessla will quickly mage hand it back.
There is a now smoldering hole in the tree. That thing went all the way in. Considering how long it is, it has extended out the other side. If there were no hilt there, it would have gone clean through and kept going.
Yes. Lessla then looks at Laura and says, "You went to a bard's college, correct?"
Well, it was a bit more than that, but yeah.
And they did not train you in the art of weaponry?
Not really. That wasn't really one I needed to take.
Lessla just removes her glasses, takes a deep breath, looks at Laura, and says, "What were you expecting to do before you found a patron?"
I don't know. Like, don't bards just usually travel from town to town?
Yes, they do. And the roads are very dangerous. You need to be taught. Being able to defend yourself is, quite frankly, just a necessary tool to learn for anyone that is intending to travel, be it noble, bard, or looks over to Corvus. Looks back.
Fucking hermit.
Yeah, just there's a cat next to him, a drake, and they're just like watching him dissect animals.
Noble, commoner, that.
That thing.
At which point Lessla says, "Look, imagine yourself walking down the road, and there's someone of Corvus's capabilities that wishes to do you harm. Were you expecting someone like a knight in shining armor to come save you every time?"
Well, not really, I guess, but I never learned how to throw them.
Now we start. And that's what Lesla's going to be doing for the rest of the trip.
Okay.
No.
Teaching her how to actually use weapons.
She can use a weapon, just not especially well. And she certainly doesn't know how to throw a dagger.
Well, she's going to learn.
She will learn.
I love how she picks a dagger. Your first option. Okay, let me show you how to yeet this thing.
That's because daggers are meant to be yeeted.
If you say so.
Stabbing everything.
Look, the farther away you can harm your opponent, the better it is for you.
Stab.
You're not wrong.
Or you just get really good at running away.
Yes, and if you're throwing daggers while you're running away, people tend not to chase you.
I've had people throw things at me and I still run towards them. Call a thick coat.
Anyway.
At some point during the journey, likely in the evening when they've kind of bedded down, she's gonna hug on Lesla's sleeve.
Yes, Miss Cheese.
Might I ask a personal question?
And of course you may.
What do you think of the gods?
Lessla takes a deep breath and says, "Well, it honestly depends on which god you're talking about. Gods that promote chaos and many other interventions to plans, I absolutely detest, but gods that you understand their domain, their intentions, their capabilities are gods that I quite do enjoy." And she kind of rubs her chin. For example, the god Bane. I understand Bane. He's the god of tyranny. Granted, he's not the god for everyone, but you know what he's going to do. Then there are gods like, and this is where I dig into something.
Talos.
Sylvanas is a chaotic neutral, I believe. or true
Talos
neutral.
is the most common, unpredictable one that I can think of.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
just kind of.
I know. I'm looking for looking to see what I'm trying to see what my answer was in the document to see what she would say here, or if she would say it. Okay. Like, for example, the god Elistre. She is the god of song, dance, and the chaos of the night. If you're trying to make a plan, gods like that are the most likely to interfere. And Talos, the god of storms, Bashaba, the goddess of misfortune, they're all unpredictable. And I like when my plans work. At which point Lessla realizes she's getting a little too deep into her explanation, and then looks back to Cheese and says, "Why did you ask?"
And she's very clearly hesitating. She seems almost scared to ask it. What do you think about the Moon Maiden?
Well, Selune, and I think at this point I would need to make a religion check.
To go very deep into it, yes, but she's a common enough goddess to where you can state some general knowledge very easily.
Yeah.
Lessla is a very learned individual.
Yes. So, Lessla says is not getting into her cults or anything like that. Selune is goddess of the moon, which has a nice structured order to it. Usually. And she looks up at the moon and the fragments of the moon that follow behind it.
The tears of Selene, yes?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Usually. I would say that if I were to meet Selune personally, it would be a neutral encounter, considering my personal nature. Although, arguably speaking, I probably have more in common with the acolytes of Shar in terms of personality. Maybe not views, but personality. Uh-oh. And Cheese T-posed.
Sorry, my Discord crashed. What were you saying?
She was saying that
Would
that
have get along more with the acolytes, sure.
yes.
Okay. Was that where you left off?
Yeah, that's where I left off.
Okay, cool.
It looks like Discord updated on you.
I already updated Discord. I already updated it. I don't know what that was. But Cheese seems to like. She almost ruminates on it for a moment. What? Oh goodness.
Lessla raises an eyebrow and says, "Is something the matter?"
Oh, everything is. Everything is the matter. Just. I am excited and terrified at the same time, if that makes sense.
You are steeped in anticipation, it seems, for what I cannot know if you do not share.
I believe that Selena has chosen me.
What was that?
I believe that Selena has chosen me for something.
Lessla crosses her arms as you say that, and looks like she has a very not perturbed, but kind of slightly frustrated look as she says this, and this is why gods are, quite frankly, temperamental at the best of times. Lessla nods as she kind of tries to clear her head and approach this from a fresh perspective. You say that you think that she has chosen you. And why is that?
In our visions with, what was his name, Zolas?
Funny. Check.
Funny gift, whatever the fuck he was.
Olas the Red, I believe.
Zolas the Red, the gift.
Yeah. In our visions, he said that he couldn't help me specifically. It was as if he guided me somewhere else. And then I understood that I was in the presence of the Moon Maiden. Maybe not her actual physical presence, but I felt her, and now I have this. And she shows Lessla the very
Lessla will examine it and
This would be a religion check for you, Lessla.
yep. I'm rolling a lot of 18s.
Okay. Oop.
Yeah.
Who we just lose?
That's cheese.
Okay.
So sorry, my headphones keep fucking me over. I'm sorry.
That's fine. But yeah, that's a 22 on the religion check to examine it.
Yes. So let me bring this up real quick. Let's read them. We have exactly what this is.
Whee!
Whee!
Rick, why did you have to mimic me, damn it?
What? Because it was funny.
I just went wee, and immediately after you went wee.
Right, so these are known as drops fallen from the moon. They're believed by, especially Selenites, to be the essence of Selena herself. They are commonly dropped from something called moon motes. Moon motes being a specific manifestation of Selena's divine presence. At least that's what the Selenites allege.
And I'll say, as Lessla is like looking over this, Cheese is kind of explaining what she went through in her vision. Specifically, she explains the three moons in the water: the blood moon, the eclipsed moon, and the full moon. Um, and she's explaining how within that three, she understood that she had to pick one, and that she had picked the eclipsed moon.
Hmm.
And that she's a little bit scared because she doesn't know what any of this means.
Lessla will put her hands around Cheese's and say, well, if this Lunatics are to be believed, you truly were in the presence of Selune as the only way to get this liquid is to be around a specific type of manifestation from her. At which point Lessla looks up to Cheese at this point instead of looking at the vial and says, what do you want to believe?
Don't know. In all reality, I am rather scared. I understand as what I am, I should not feel this way. I should accept what comes to me, but that never before. I've always understood the gods were there. And never before have they cared to help me. Even when I tried, when I was young, but I just, maybe she'll give me answers. I don't know. I just, after what happened, everything scares me.
Lessla will purse her lips as she thinks about it. She takes a deep breath as she lets go of Cheese's hands and removes her glasses, putting them into a hidden pocket on her clothing. As she looks at her, says, "If you are afraid of anything, be it god, monster, man, or construct, I will do everything in my power to alleviate you of those fears. I understand if you don't believe my words, but I have never done anything in my life without full dedication to it. And you belong to me. And as I have said before, I will not let anything have you."
And what if I was scared of death?
Then I will find a way to make a Jurgen take you off of his list, if that is what you desire from me.
These hesitates. She's not trying to hide her emotions at all, and throughout everything that you've seen, she doesn't really especially around you in quiet moments like this. She doesn't necessarily care to hide her emotions. There is deep conflict within her. I am a druid. I understand life and death. I have been acquainted with it for my entire life, but Lady Silverster, you have to understand what happened. With the automaton in the mansion, I felt the void. I felt cold. And at this point, like, tears are brimming. She is very. This is sort of like, I am so scared. This is the only way that my emotion can come out, and tears are threatening to kind of fall.
Man, you're really pushing Lesla's ability to comprehend people emotionally.
You're welcome.
As Lessla, unsure of what to do because this is like an entirely new thing for her. She doesn't comfort people. And the thing is, she doesn't know how to comfort people because she's never been comforted. So she just kind of awkwardly reaches up and puts her hand on Cheese's shoulders and says, "To fear death is only natural, even for people who understand it. To fear death means that you are not ready. Take this fear that you have and hold on to it. Turn it into the will to live. Not a fear of death, but a want for life." And she's not sure what type of face she should make, so she's just kind of giving this stoic looking one as she looks up at Cheese.
Cheese looks like a piece of laminate paper, and like, you know the sound that it makes, that wibble wobble? Cheese
Yeah.
looks like that, if that makes any sense.
God damn it, I do. I understand so much. I understand.
Can I hug you, please?
Lessla is just, when you ask that, is just completely dumbstruck by the question. Because, one, she's probably never actually been hugged. And two, was never expecting anyone to ask her to hug her. So Lessla, after like a good 5-10 seconds of trying to register what she just asked, has said, "All right."
Cheese will go in for a hug. At that, I have a question for you, Rec.
Yes.
See if this little thing is happening in my mind correctly. You know that unfinished phylactery? Where are you keeping that?
That is currently in a bag.
Okay, and it's not one that you have on you. Damn it!
No.
I thought I was about to be real slick. That's okay. Cheese embraces you, and it is like, she kind of holds on to you like a lifeline for a second, and then she realizes, oh shit, wait, that's probably not right. Let me let go a little bit, and then she. It's an awkward hug.
The worst part about this is we already established that Lessla is at chest height for you.
Beautiful. And she's kind of pulls away from the hug, and she wipes her eyes a little bit and bows slightly.
Lessla, after the hug, after you like release the hug, just looks like a deer in headlights.
I'm sorry if that was improper. I don't know. It felt right.
Lessla takes a deep breath as she tries to recompose herself and says if it felt right and it helped you, then it is part of my duty to you as part of our and she's having trouble thinking at this point. She doesn't know what to say.
I've made you uncomfortable. I'll go. Thank you, Lady Silverster.
You did not make me uncomfortable. Lessa will say quite quickly and says, "It's just that is the first time I've ever been hugged."
Oh. I didn't know that. Well, if you liked it, then I suppose you could always ask.
I will have to think on that. And Leslie looks very pensive. And now she's thinking, who can I talk to about this? I usually talk to Cheese. And I know who the funniest person to talk to would be.
She's now being very awkward. She's like tugging at her sleeves nervously, like picking at her fingernails. I'll leave you for the evening if you don't need anything else.
I do not require anything from you, but as always, I am here. And she will says, "It is good talk," and she's going to turn and walk away.
Funny.
That's a good talk. Oh my god, that's my 13th reason right there.
Yeah. At which point,
I'm sorry. It was too perfect.
now here's the question: how many people saw that interaction?
When did this happen?
Probably sometime at night.
Evening.
Yeah.
Sometime at night? Okay. I'm guessing off to the side.
I see everything.
Yeah.
You with
That
your no
doesn't
dark
surprise
vision
me.
having ass.
No, if you're there, it's probably
Silly little human boy. Silly little human boy.
Let me go ahead and roll some dice in the background.
Oh no.
Oh no, Bards.
Several people. Both Corvus and Sapphire rolled me a just roll me a D4.
Both of us rolling a D4?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm scared.
Corvus, Laura, and Zarfea saw this.
Okay.
Okay, great. That
Sapphire's
makes it.
too busy trying to hear the voices in the book again, like, tell me.
This makes it even funnier because the funniest person that Lessla could go talk to this moment, because she can't talk to Cheese about it, is Sapphire.
Who didn't see any of it?
Yep.
You didn't see
There
any
you go.
of it.
All right. Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, Lesla's going to go
Okay.
walk over to where Sapphire's.
Sapphire is just sitting somewhere. in
Probably
her
like
little
right at the
nook.
entrance of her tent,
Yeah.
staring intently at the book, trying to will something to happen.
Yeah.
So Lessla just walks up. She has composed herself at this point, so she doesn't look so dumbfounded. But when she gets there, she starts kind of gesturing with her hands, but Sapphire's probably just looking at the book.
I am hyper focused
So,
on this book. Like,
So
the
she
entire-
clears her throat.
Oh.
So this is going
Sorry,
to be a
hi.
strange question.
Raised eyebrow, kind of leaning back slightly and looking up at Lessla like, okay,
How often were you hugged?
quite frequently. Why?
Well, you see, I was talking to Cheese, and the conversation
Sapphire has no idea where this is going.
the conversation led to quite deep topics, and Cheese asked for a hug, and I let her hug me. And afterwards, I realized that it was the first time I've ever been hugged.
Sapphire just blinks because that's the saddest thing she thinks she's ever heard.
So many things make sense.
Yes. It's like slightly that's the saddest, like the expression on her face is like that's the saddest thing I've ever heard, mixed with so much makes sense now.
And quite frankly, I wouldn't usually talk to you about what I'm thinking about, because usually I would talk to Cheese about it. But the conversation left off a little awkwardly, and I didn't know how to continue it, so I just walked away.
Okay.
And I was wondering if hugging was supposed to be something that is a quite a big deal or not. And evidently, if a commoner like you has been hugged extensively throughout her life, it seems that I shouldn't put too much thought into it.
That is the most backhanded
Yeah. That's the
ever heard.
Like
This is
you.
the Lessla is not thinking about what she's saying.
Hang on. I think I've got a comeback. Which is like the slight insult. The Sapphire speak like this is where the nickname Jasper gave her of Spitfire comes in. Well, I grew up with a loving family, so it kind of makes sense. But it depends on who you're hugging, I think.
Lessla
But
tilts her head and says, a family shows affection.
oh gods help me. Most do. By the sounds of it, yours didn't really believe in affection.
I wouldn't know. I did not. I spent maybe an hour a day around my family.
And again, Sapphire is just gonna glance over to the side. Out of character. It's the side that Flowers typically chills on in her hair. Like, she knows he's in her hair and can't see this look of like, you know what I'm looking, like what the expression is. But she knows he knows what look she's giving right now. It's like, that I don't think makes for healthy relationships.
Lessla raises an eyebrow and says, no, but relationships are conditional. If
So?
If you have nothing to offer to another person, there's no reason to speak to them or interact for any reason.
That's not how families should be. You love each other unconventionally. Unconditionally.
Yes.
Yeah. Look.
We do the
So-
unconventional things.
Let
Both, really.
well,
Lessla,
like nobles, maybe.
Lessla just rubs her chin in thought and says, "No. The only time I remember really spending extended periods of time with my family was when my arm was broken in a sparring match with my eldest brother. But that was because they didn't have a magical healer.
You need friends. Because it sounds like your family was never there for you when you needed them. And I can't imagine what kind of hells you went through because of that.
Is friends a fancy word for close servant?
The disbelief on Sapphire's face. No.
I don't have any of those either.
Clearly. If you think they're servants, what even is your relationship to Cheese then? Because Cheese definitely sees you as a friend.
She does?
Sapphire's just mentally thinking to herself, and I guess to Flowers, just like the emotional immaturity. Oh my god, this makes so much sense now. Yes, she does. She seems to care very deeply for you.
Well,
I'm gonna ignore the witch's cackle in the background of your mic.
I apologize. Lessla just looks at Sapphire, rubs her chin and says, well, not says, asks in a super, like, just asking the question for the sake of asking the question, are we friends?
Well,
Right now, we don't know each other personally enough to be considered friends. Right now, we're more acquaintances, colleagues.
Ah, I see. I understand.
Do you, though?
I will.
I will.
There is nothing
Okay.
in this world that I cannot understand with given enough study. I just need to learn more.
Friendship isn't exactly something you study. It's more of a feeling.
Feelings just get in the way of knowledge.
There are multiple different types of knowledges. Some that can't be learned through logic alone.
I don't believe you.
I don't know how I can make you believe me. What would I have to explain, show, do to make you trust and believe me that not every knowledge requires strictly logic, and some needs emotion.
Lessla looks like she's actually like thinking about this topic, and she, after a few moments, she says, "Is I don't know. The Look, I will not lie. I understand that my family is not. My relationship with my family is probably not of the norm, considering that I've observed how they interact with each other. But if there is knowledge that requires you to embrace feelings and illogical stances, it is not a knowledge that I need. I require the foundation of logic, because if there is no logic, then there is no point. There is no point to the inadequacies that I'm told I have, that I try to overcome. There needs to be a logic to it. And Lessla, she actually looks, because she hasn't put her glasses back on this since she talked to Cheese, actually looks like she comprehends what Sapphire is saying. She's understanding it, but there's like a mental wall that keeps her from connecting it. And she's getting angry at that fact.
Emotions aren't something you understand completely in a day. It takes time, and I think in your case, healing
Well,
from those very bad relationships with your family.
there's nothing to heal there. It is just a matter of fact that is how my family is. I am the 5th child. The only use I have to the family is that I will be married off to create political relationships. And so I will do my best to forge my own path so that that is not my destiny.
Out of character, I feel like a therapist. And how does that make you feel? Oh. I mean, you may think you have nothing to heal, but to me it sounds like it very much does. Especially with that mindset, for you, the only thing you're being good for in your family is for political gain. That's not what family should be like. Noble or not.
That is the condition of being the 3rd daughter and 5th child. If I don't make my own name, then I will forever be bound to that position. And if I do not break away from it properly, there is no recourse. This is why I'm here. I don't wish to marry someone and be their 3rd wife. I am capable of much more than that, regardless of what anyone thinks.
Are you trying to convince me or yourself?
You say that, and Lessla looks at you, then looks down at the ground, as she is even more pensive than before, and says, "Is I don't know," and you can feel the anger coming out of her voice. I'm done with this conversation. And she starts turning to walk away.
Good night, I guess. I guess if you need lessons on hugs, come to me.
Oh, does Lessla get petty?
Yes.
Rupert, you don't help. You don't help.
A
Good.
17-year-old child who has insecurities. Yes.
You're right. So, as you say that, you watch as Leslie walking away. It looks like she pushes the air, and your book just shuts.
Sapphire just shrugs and opens it back up. But she does kind of watch Lessla leave, like, things make sense now.
Process
Sapphire
of
now has a level of understanding to Lessla that maybe Cheese doesn't even have.
Cheese won't like that.
Hey, Shadow, how much of that did I hear?
You know Cheese's passive perception.
And the fact that
Okay.
Cheese has observant.
Where did Cheese go after the conversation with Lessla? That's a good question.
Cheese would have
Nice.
gone kind of to her tent, but she would have stayed outside.
Was she watching Lessla talk to Sapphire? Because you would have saw
She would have
Lessla
watched
talk
where
to Sapphire.
Lessla. She would have watched where Lessla went.
So depending on the angle, maybe you'll see Sapphire's end.
You would see the backside of Lessla the entire time.
Okay.
You
You
might
don't
have
think
gotten
she's
bits and
hearing.
pieces of what Sapphire said.
She
The
can read
fact that
lips.
Cheese kind of sees bits and pieces of the facial journey Sapphire was going through,
Yes,
She sees all.
which is terrifying.
we're aware of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Never let Cheese have scrying spells.
Please let Cheese have scrying spells. Pretty please.
Divination wizards are fun.
Time to multi-class.
You don't have the intelligence for being a wizard, sadly.
That is true, I do not. I have less intelligence than an awakened moose. We've discussed this already.
But we love you all the same.
Mm. Yeah, but Cheese would spend the rest of her evening just kind of staring up at the sky like, what the fuck just happened? What did I do? Did I mess everything up? Is it all okay? Am I good? Am I bad? Did I kill everyone? I don't know.
You
Did I kill everyone?
you probably see Lessla angrily stalking towards her tent.
No,
Which-
that means Cheese is gonna think I pissed off Lessla somehow.
Yeah, which is, you know,
You can actually
Le-
know kind of what Sapphire was saying. Sapphire didn't say anything bad.
yeah. I mean, Lessla.
I mean, the one thing you definitely know she said was like, if you need lessons for hugs.
Mhm. Also, Lessla stalking angrily is like super unusual.
Yeah. It's a child throwing a tantrum, nothing Corvus hasn't seen before.
Cheese hasn't. What does Cheese want to do about that? Oh god. Does Cheese want to go over to Lessla? That's the question. I think Cheese feels like she already made Lessla uncomfortable enough. Cheese will just like look at Lessla from her tent, and if Lessla so happens to look back, then she will see that like constant Cheese expression. Not the smile, but the "Oh, are you okay?"
I thought it was
That
going to be
just
the
kind
goat
of, like-
stare.
That pretty much, but not the
Yeah.
smiley goat stare. The more unreadable goat stare.
Lessla is literally just looking at her book and doing her best not to succumb to the need to throw it, and somehow hit Laura with it, just so I can feel extra bad.
Laura knows how to people, right? That's what bards do. Bards know how to people. She's gonna go over to Laura. Oh my god, this is like the world's worst game of telephone.
It's
This is
great.
great.
Eventually, this is all gonna come back to Lessla and Cheese. A completely different message. Laura?
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 Okay. Laura, no, Cheese doesn't have to roll this. Cheese, you hastily see her put away a small book.
What are you reading?
It's nothing, nothing important. Go ahead and roll me a. You do have to roll a perception check for this, Cheese, to see if you got the title of it, because the title is on there.
11.
You did not get the title on it.
Damn it.
Oh, it's a snuff.
Okay. You know how to people, right?
I think so.
Okay. We're going into your tent. And she's just kind of like pushes Laura into her tent.
No, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense for Cheese.
Okay, I am so tempted.
Was not anticipating that.
He's just kind of like pushing her into the
I was. Laura's tent is right by Lesla's. If she wants to have a private conversation, she has to walk away or go in the tent.
Yeah. For anyone watching, you see a brief moment of "wait, what?" on Laura's face as Cheese grabs her by the horn and pulls her inside.
She's just like, yeah. It's like something straight out of Looney Tunes.
Exactly.
Cheese just sits down in front of Laura. What makes people pretty?
She blinks a couple times. I don't really have an answer for that.
Well, okay. You know, you see how I look, yes?
She nods. Not really sure where this is going.
I make people very uncomfortable. Pretty people don't make people uncomfortable.
Ouch.
What?
I think we all make people a little unsettled.
I don't know. You've been around people a lot more than I have. What do people think is pretty?
lot of people like flowers or music or a really nice sunset.
Oh, that's not what I meant. What makes a person pretty?
That's a lot harder to explain.
He sits and looks at her expectantly.
It kind of depends on who you ask, I guess.
Well, then what do you think is pretty?
Well, I think most of the people here are, in some way.
How so?
You can see her starting to shift, getting a little uncomfortable in the conversation, but she doesn't stop you. Well, your hair is very nice, and Sapphire's eyes, I haven't seen two eyes different like that before, so that's striking.
You read a lot of books, right?
Um, Sometimes I do, yes.
What do books say are pretty?
You see her start to sweat.
I figured.
Please leave.
You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like who I go to next.
She's just going
Uh,
around the camp. What makes people pretty?
Cheese, go ahead and roll me another perception check as Laura kind of leans back and bumps into one of her backs.
Wasn't a tiefling, man. How would she be so rad right now?
17.
17, okay. So the only thing you notice is the author's name on one of the books. Something by Valhalaria the Vaunted. Rick knows exactly
I'm writing
what
this
that
down.
is.
I hope you know that.
Mm-hmm. Rick knows exactly what I'm talking about.
He's kind of like looks over and she peeks more at the book to see what more she can see of it.
Lara doesn't seem to have noticed you doing that yet. She's still kind of trying to process how to handle the situation. If she's wanted to, she could reach over and pick up the book.
I want to pick up the book.
Okay. Cheese, you pick up the book. It is titled Nymphs in Need of My Embraces, in parentheses.
Oh god.
Hey, you would know what nymphs are too.
There
What
are
is the
several
cover?
more in there by the same author.
What does the cover look like?
The cover is just a very plain lilac cover.
Oh.
It's a leather-bound
it.
book.
Okay. Do you mind if I borrow this?
Yes, he immediately grabs it back.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, she's
don't
asked to borrow something. That's nice.
I'm actually surprised that she didn't just open it and start reading.
Development.
I was expecting you just to
Do you have
open it
any
and
books
start
I could
reading.
borrow? Do
Sorry,
you have
what
any
was
books I
that?
could borrow?
No, not on me right now. Laura is getting very flustered.
Cheese
Man,
cocks her head. Why not?
Um, uh, well, I still have to finish reading some of these. Yeah, I still have
All
to
of
finish
them?
reading them. Yes.
Why would you start a book and then not finish it and then start another?
well, you see, sometimes they get a little too
Uh,
steamy.
Yeah. Oh, Lara, this is so mean.
I can't. I can't.
Should I
I
say
can't
that in
wait.
names or general?
you see several. Yes, you should.
I
You see
can't.
several more titles in there. Among them, the Duchess Spanks Back.
Oh my god.
I swear, if Cheese ever comes to Lessla and like asks, is like, Laura was reading this book. Do you know what this one is about? Lessla will just. I don't even know.
Do not read those. It's like, yeah, just like, no, Cheese, bad, dude, avoid those books.
Does there look like there's any book that has been untouched? Or any, like, pages that aren't dog-eared?
Not a single one.
Okay, but would Leslie even know what any of those books are about?
Lessla is technically
She
an
has-
adult by her standards, so she would at least have heard of them. Especially because she's a noble
been
woman.
educated.
We've heard of the idea. Would she
Gotta
be able to get
remember-
the innuendo?
remember-
Maybe not.
I remember something, Harume. She was literally planned from birth to be married off. She has been educated.
Yeah.
Fair.
Mhm.
So, like, none of the books look like they have been finished or have not been started?
None of them look like they haven't been read 100 times over.
Come
There's
on,
5 or 6
all
in
of
there.
these 1,000 times, please. Just one. Just for a little bit. Just for tonight.
No, they're very important to me.
I can read. I swear I can. I learn. All by myself. If you're calling me stupid, then I'm just going to take one.
No, I'm not doing that. But these are, well, they're special and different. They're not gonna help you with
If you have something special, then I'll trade you something special in return, and then we can trade it back whenever we're done.
I'd rather not do that.
Yeah. No, she's still.
He's just silent about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just herself.
He's closeted.
You wanna know what Laura is? She's that girl in school that like looks at all the guys and ships them together. That's who she
Yeah.
is.
Exactly. No,
Exactly.
she writes fan fiction.
Yeah.
Now the
That's-
question is, who is Laura shipping with who in this party?
Everyone.
Come on, Laura.
It's Baldur's Gate
please,
3 in
please,
here.
Please. And I would like to make a persuasion check.
Okay, Cheese, you're gonna have disadvantage on that persuasion check.
That's okay.
Roll soon at 20s.
10.
I said disadvantage.
Yeah, that
It
was
was
with
Oh, that was
disadvantage.
with disadvantage. Yes, I see.
Roll D&D Beyond is weird with Roll20.
Yeah, she I don't think right now, Cheese. I'm sorry.
Well, okay.
You can tell she
I'll
does
just have to check
seem
one
like
of those books out
sad.
whenever we go to the library next.
Oh no.
Thanks for the talk, Laura. You did absolutely nothing. Bye.
Jesus, the amount of shade Cheese throws at people.
Yeah.
And you don't even know if she means to or not.
I assume that
She could just be being completely genuine and not realizing it.
I imagine with your intelligence but high wisdom, it's that you understand what it is to be mean, but sometimes you don't understand that what you say can't be mean.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, this next one's gonna be even better.
Yes, Corvus.
Corvus!
Oh, and Calico's just gonna be eating this up.
He's in 10.
I'm pretty
Corvus
sure
is in
I'm
it. Yeah,
on this.
Calico's in the tent. Corvus is sleeping on the
Corvus,
ground
do you have a
outside.
moment? She's just
No,
like
he's not-
standing over him.
Yeah, he's probably like a bit of meditation right now. He just like very calmly opens his eyes and looks up at Chief because he's used to. He knows Chief has high energy, so she doesn't scare him. She doesn't shock him anymore.
She's just looming over him.
Can I
He
speak to
leans
you in
back,
private, please?
raises an eyebrow, but nods, standing up, and he instead of not, he doesn't move to the tent. He starts moving towards the woods.
Cheese will go with him.
Corvus, I have a very important question, and you have to answer completely honestly.
Raises an eyebrow.
What do you think makes people pretty?
You know,
He.
this could be interpreted so many different ways.
Yes. This is guy called, but Corvus is very negative, so he wouldn't assume anything weird. He thinks, looks up for a minute, raises an eyebrow. So he keeps his eyebrow raised and goes, "Why do you ask?"
Well, people are less uncomfortable around pretty people. I'm me. I make people uncomfortable.
Did someone say you weren't pretty?
Cheese looks. She's like genuinely trying to remember.
I don't think so. I've had people say I look weird and unsightly and scary and one person once said I should have been a deer. But nobody ever specifically said I wasn't pretty.
Well, if you're wondering if you're pretty, yes, you are.
He's kind of looks a little confused at that.
Ma'am, trust me. You ain't ugly. I'm ugly. And he points to he just points to himself. I know why people don't look at my face when they talk to me. No one wants to see this thing. I don't
Well, I
want to see
do.
this thing. He looks.
I want
He,
to.
he literally stops talking mid-sentence and just stares at her, kind of confused.
Corvus's eyes, are they brown or green? I can't remember.
Hazel.
Hazel.
That green bits of like a round around the ring kind of thing, you know, the kind of typical hazel.
I like looking at you. You remind me a little bit of home.
How would Corvus take that? Give me a second. Huh. I think you're the only. I don't think I've ever been told that before. Thank you.
I've never been called pretty before, so thank you too.
What's this all about?
Just
Is
I
this
talked
about-
to Lessla.
No, it's.
I talked to Lady Silverster. I feel like it went well, and then she went over to talk to Sapphire, and then she kind of stormed off. I feel like I messed up.
No. You didn't. That little lady. I've thought something was off about her for a little bit now, but it ain't my place to get involved in someone else's business. I think what happened tonight was just something she's not used to. And honestly, I think that can make people do things they don't really understand. She's young. She's just figuring herself out.
Hmm. I guess that does make sense. But I definitely did cause her discomfort. Oh,
Maybe you did. But she doesn't seem like the type to not let you know. If you did, she'd probably, well, have someone cut your hands off or something. Those types
oh
tend.
no. I don't know. Would she cut my hands off?
She didn't.
Would she?
Ma'am,
I did something wrong. Oh, I don't want to lose my hands. I like my hands.
I need hands for baking.
she doesn't. I don't think she would. She seems to like, or at least talk to you.
We have an arrangement.
Is it an eyebrow?
Lady Silverster, whenever she was traveling away from her home, she went through my wood and found me.
No, it's.
Well, it was with Sir Trethar as well, and I don't know. We have a sort of unspoken agreement. I am her employ for as long as I am useful. And when I am no longer useful, then I shall be left behind.
And what do you get out of this?
Time with her.
You see him? Points to the Drake, who's just there, always.
She
Boy is currently on his back, much like a dog sleeping on his back.
What do you think his duty is?
He's your ally, your protector, and a tracker and a hunter. He's an ambush drake. That's what he does.
He is an individual, as am I. If I'm broken, he has no requirement to look after me. And if he is broken, I have no requirement to look after him. So, what if Lady Silverster is no longer useful to you? Would you abandon her?
No, I am in service to her. I could not abandon her.
You are in service to no one else. If she would leave you broken, then she is not your ally. You would protect her. I've seen you do it. And I think she would protect you. At least from what I've seen. When you fell, she got quite upset. The only time I saw her that upset was whenever she was threatened. But if she thinks there's an arrangement that if you're no longer useful, she'll leave you, then you shouldn't stick in that arrangement. You're either equals or you're nothing. Because if she views you like any noble Fusion employee, if she finds someone who can do what you do but better, she'll just exchange it for the new model. And you don't want that. It's not nice to be discarded when something better comes around.
It was It was the first person that ever seen me from me. I can't leave that behind.
He walks up to her and puts a hand on her shoulder. I think I get it. But just remember, you're important. And if she treats you like you're not, well, wait, do you feel like she thinks you're not pretty? Is that why you're asking this question?
If I knew what made people pretty, then maybe she. Yes?
Ma'am,
She...
if I may speak bluntly, you're prettier than her.
He shrinks at that.
I don't understand.
Sit. I feel like I'm not helping here.
I don't understand.
Look, I don't think you've done anything wrong, and I feel like if you did, she'd tell you. Perhaps, I don't know what they talked about. Perhaps something Sapphire said annoyed her. Miss Eldercrow annoyed her. Just let us sleep on it. Sometimes when you're all worked up, you just need to take a moment to calm down before doing something that will get you hurt. And I think you've got yourself worked up.
You're probably right.
Shadow! I am trying to have an intense roleplay here.
Yeah, well,
Sorry, that
well,
was a
we're
response to me with
You're
going
the
into
one-
panic.
Look,
Fucking
I'm
damn
gonna
it.
start posting stuff in this chat.
like you're trying to have something serious. We're all memeing in general.
Yeah.
Y'all are just having the time of your lives.
Oh, I am. I love it when
What the fuck did we just say?
Corvus,
Let Lessla sleep on it.
you let
Oh,
Mo sleep on it.
okay.
You let yourself sleep on it too.
You're probably right.
What was it? Oh, probably right.
I don't know. We hugged and it was weird.
Uh,
I, f-
how?
I feel like it was weird. It was just, I don't know. Lady Silverster felt uncomfortable the entire time, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit uncomfortable too. But then I don't, I don't know. It felt right and then very, very weird at the same time. I was very scared.
Ma'am, I think the problem is with her, not with you.
You can see Cheese like picking at her fingernails.
You said I saw, right? Did I see Lesla's face after the hug? Shadow?
I think Shadow's thinking of more smut names. You're gonna have to give him a
Not
minute.
really. No, I muted myself so I'd stop laughing at them. I will also let you know I stole the first two.
Okay.
Okay,
Those
good
are
for you.
canonically something that was written in Faerun.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay. Well, she don't often talk to Miss Eldercrow. And if you said she was weird, maybe she was trying to make sense of something. Oh, and well, Miss Eldercrown seems to have an effect on people.
I suppose she sort of does. Thank you, Corvus.
Yeah.
And
Do you want to go for a walk or something? Clear your head a bit.
I don't know. Um, yes. I think a walk would be nice. Can we change this up?
Of course, the master of conversation thinks. Choose many conversation topics.
good weather we're having.
Yeah, perfect. But actually, Corvus did have something in mind to talk about. So, you mentioned you would be willing to help me with something.
Yes, of course.
That sounds like a good topic of discussion.
All right. What would you like to know?
when I was in the vision, I was able to put myself at my home, where I reside when I'm not here. And then I was able to see tendrils of nature, I guess. It's very confusing to me. And I was
You
able
just see
to
smile on Cheese's face.
manipulate them, but he said that it's different here and I need someone who actually knows what they're doing to be able to do it outside of that realm.
You know
Yep.
nature very well, yes? Just on a base level, you're a hunter. You live in the wild.
Yeah. Never responded to me before.
Well, sometimes you just need to listen in a different way. Here, come here.
And she's gonna like guide him to a tree.
Okay. He walks to the tree.
Here, do what I do, okay?
And she puts her hand on the tree.
He puts his hand on the tree.
You meditate, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Meditation can be a lot of different. It can be listening, it can be thinking, it can just be having everything go blank. Just do everything you can to focus on how it feels. Like how the bark feels beneath your hand. Yes?
Well, due to my work, I don't really feel the bark.
Calloused hands or no, you understand what you're touching is a living thing.
Of course.
It grows, it changes, it moves. It's like you. It's like me. I guess I learned magic by just feeling it. That's probably not very helpful at all. But you know those quiet moments, like just whenever you know that the forest is healthy, the forest of your home, perhaps. You understand it. There's a rhythm to it. The season comes and they change, but most of the time it's pretty much the same. That's understanding, and that's the first step, really. And then from understanding comes, oh goodness. I guess how I did it was sort of became a part of me. I just let, oh, I'm not very good at this, am I?
Think I understand. What I do is take something internal and bring it out, but you're saying to bring something external in.
Yes, exactly that. When nature holds the power, you're just the conduit.
Does that scare you?
When I was younger, but I got used to it. There are some parts that still scare me. There are spells that I don't understand. There are things that I can do that I haven't been able to do before, but I just know that it comes from the earth. And I think I came from it too, in a way. You know, from dust unto dust, that sort of thing.
No, it's all right. I guess I can try. And of course, he'll close his eyes and try to do what was mentioned. The abstract concepts, yeah.
Druidcraft is abstract in and of itself. It's a little odd.
Yeah. Shadow, get your head out of the gutter and come talk to us.
I keep forgetting that I turned off my mic.
Hey, Carrington.
Remind me, what did you just say?
Essentially, Corvus is trying to meditate based on what Cheese said and his understanding of it to try and do what fucking Zolas said.
The artist has no influence over
What
you.
Zolas said. Okay.
Because I have someone talking me through it.
Gotcha. That's a good question. So, clarify exactly what you're trying to achieve in this.
Okay, so as Cheese explained it to Corvus took it as his power is taking what's internal and making it external, whereas she was talking about it was taking what's outside and bringing it into yourself through this meditative process. Example being knowing what, due to nature and how she explained it, so Corvus is attempting to do that.
Okay.
And instead of having the power come for yourself, you are just a conduit of the power of
Instead of being you are your own power, you rely on something else for it.
Okay. You can try to do that. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check.
Do I get advantage because Cheese is helping me?
Yeah, I will do my best to give assistance.
Okay, just check.
Okay.
So wisdom, you said?
Yes.
Okay, it's gonna be less than 10, unfortunately. Yep.
Hey, for once you were right.
So you're not able to achieve anything. You try for about 20 minutes, you don't get anywhere. If you want to keep going, you can make another check.
Yeah, he'll keep going. Corvus has a weird determination, and he wants something. It's not about him getting the power; it's about seeing something that he wants to see. He has a motivation here.
At this point, I think. Are we still touching the tree? Are we still going to be touching the tree?
Corvus is.
Are you touching the tree's
Cheese
boobs?
at this point. Just. Cheese is going to place her hand over Corvus's as a sort of like. You know how copper is a conductive metal?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what she's trying to be like. She's trying to be like that conductive force. Just because she knows this type of magic and she understands it.
Alright. Let's see Cheese smile.
Okay. So, Corvus, as you try and reach out, you try and invert that which you know.
Mm.
As you do so, you come to notice something. As you sit there and you meditate in thought, you remember how you reached out in the world and you could feel a new connection to it.
Yes.
You feel not that same connection, but a new one. You begin to realize this connection, that there is something similar, something the same about you and the rest of the world. There is something that ties them. You're not quite grasping what it is, but you do feel it's there. You do feel like you can interact with it to a small degree. You are getting there.
I will try Druidcraft.
Okay. I believe that's one of the ones you took with your feet, correct?
That's one of the ones I'm taking, yes.
Okay. Yeah, you attempt it. And what are you trying to achieve with it?
Just make a single baby's breath flower. That's what he's focusing on right now.
So you reach out your other hand and hold it in front of you and focus really hard. And you do feel something begin to sit there. And after focusing and feeling whatever it is stop moving, you open your eyes to see a very small, but is there, singular baby's breath flower.
He's just staring at it.
It's just there with its roots are obviously not attached to anything, but they are just sitting there, resting gently on your hand. It is very small, very, very small.
In contrast to Cheese's huge fucking smile.
Girthy. Oh, I thought you were going to say
No!
ugly.
That is not the word I would ever use.
Look, girthy's a great word.
I hate it. I
Girthy
despise it.
is a great word, but it's used for all the wrong reasons.
It's like how people hate that I use supple casually.
Supple.
Yes, I do
love
hate
it.
that.
It's a really good word. It's just been ruined.
Supple?
Yeah, people don't like when I say supple.
Mm.
Nothing wrong with the
I
word.
keep saying moist.
Moist.
Oh, that was always fun.
Yeah.
He's just looking at the flower. Not dumbfounded, but just like staring, almost like disbelief.
And Cheese just has a huge smile on her face. She's looking at him, just beaming.
He looks at Cheese, sees the smile. That fucking pang of anxiety fires through his body like a bullet. And he just like nods his head towards Cheese and thank you, man.
I'm proud of you.
It was
You did
you
that all
who,
on your own.
well, Mr. Solus unlocked it. He said that he took that out, and then you told me what to do. So technically, no, I didn't do it.
You can't unlock a connection to nature.
Yeah, he said that. He said he did.
Not like this, though. It's... He moved a single stone in it down. You're the one who tore it down. Welcome to the flood.
Jack doing something. Do something. Okay. He just kind of nods. Well, this has been helpful. And he just hands the flower to Cheese.
Cheese holds this as if it were the most precious object she's ever seen.
you.
Of course. Anything, if you need anything from me, you don't need to hesitate to ask. I think I've learned that I may have to try and be more open with people. And looks down at the boy, the Drake, and goes, he seems to like you, so I think I can trust you.
He's a sweet boy. And if you ever need anything of me, you should know the offer extends both ways.
That's what a pack does, I guess.
I suppose if there's nothing else. Thank you for looking to me.
And nods and thank you for talking to me.
Anytime. Oh, I do have one more question.
His face returns from like that really like almost like slightly vulnerable, soft expression to his normal expression, raises an eyebrow.
What was the name of that author again? I can't remember how you pronounce it.
He's muted.
Shadow, I need you.
Yes, I have to remember how to pronounce it as well. Give me one moment.
Valeria the Vaunted?
Valhilaria the Vaunted.
Valhilaria the Vaunted.
Do you know who Valhilaria the Vaunted is?
I had a mother who was home a lot. Do I know who that is?
You have no idea who that is.
Alright.
No!
Those
Well, the
folks-
question is,
Read smut
She had
books?
those books from
Sapphire now.
That is.
Okay.
That's a question for you to answer.
Once
If it
in-
ever gets to me.
The reason it's not for Corvus is Corvus lived in the woods for most of his life.
That's why I've not brought up the fact that the
Yeah.
mother. Don't ring a bell to me. Why?
Just curious. Laura has some books that she won't let me borrow. I really wanted to borrow them.
What were they about?
You wouldn't tell me.
Must be something private then.
Ooh. Ooh.
There's always one person that seems to know everything.
Oh, if you want, I'm going to get more firewood. Maybe get some extra meat from the morning. You want to join with that?
I think I'm going to turn in for the night.
Of course. Yeah. You know where I rest.
And vice versa.
He nods. And he'll just go do some firewood gathering.
Did I use that right? Did I say that right? Did I say vice versa correctly? That's how
I
you
don't know that. If that
Oh.
don't.
I
I
just
just-
wanted to double check.
I just remembered I had something I needed to talk to Corvus about, but that can wait.
He'll be back. He'll be back in like.
Yeah,
I do have one small thing that I want to try and do. If at all possible.
Are you
Shadow.
okay.
Tell Corvus.
Okay.
Are you stealing a book?
Terror in his voice.
Yes, I want to turn into a raccoon and I want to steal one of those books.
Oh,
Okay, Lara's tent is at this point drawn shut.
I am a raccoon.
Yes. there's one entrance to that tent.
Raccoon.
Imagine a raccoon scuttling into the tent.
It's
If
zipped
you
closed.
wait.
You'd have to somehow jump up.
There are no zippers, but
They're
it is
not
tied.
No, no.
zippers.
Yeah. But here's the thing. What would Laura
Raccoons have
do?
people hands.
What would Laura do? Would she try and kick the raccoon out, or would she go into the corner of her tent and cower? Because I
I feel
see,
like screaming is involved.
I feel like
Screaming
it's
is most definitely
I
involved.
feel like it's screaming and going to the corner of the tent while Cheese takes a book and runs out into the forest.
Just scurries away.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yes, but I have to look up something first.
Oh, which
Good.
book do you take? He has to roll a D something for it.
Roll D1000. That's how many shadows made. It's just Laura carrying 1,000 smut books, snuff
I
books.
have to look up
Oh
something.
God, what's a good?
Okay. That's okay. I know what I need to. Cheese, you may indeed go ahead and do so.
Oh my god. I'm absolutely going into that tent, and she has wild shaped into a raccoon, normal looking raccoon, very,
Mhm.
very run of the mill. And she's just like inside the tent, like trying to steal a book.
So there is like one way to enter here, and you've got to kind of work your way through the threads that have been tied together.
That's fine.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check, Cheese, with the stats of the raccoon.
Raccoons don't have,
have
a
a
stat
plus
block
5.
that I can find.
They do.
+5?
They have a +5 to stealth. Yes.
Okay. Can I just roll my stealth and then add 3 to it? Because it's just a +2 modifier. Would that be okay?
Sure.
7,
Okay.
8, 9, 10.
10.
Okay. So you start to claw on it. You're trying to tear into it. Cheese, I need you to make a perception check. This is also with the stats of the raccoon,
Okay.
which they
What are-
have a +5 to perception.
She gets to add her bonus if it's higher.
Yeah.
Because of wild
is-
shape.
And it is. It's
You're
a
correct.
6. 19.
So you are hearing noise in there as you start to toy with the ropes, trying to essentially shoelace or like lace that's tying it together. You do hear whatever noise was in there stop,
Oh.
and not that type of noise.
I imagine it'd be. Shadow said she was trying to hide her books better. I imagine it was something to do with that.
It sounds like someone
Having to
rummaging
hide
through
books.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that noise stops as you start to do it. Do you continue?
Yes, of course I do.
Okay, you continue, Cheese. As you finally get one open, the entire camp hears an ear-splitting shriek, and I need to roll something.
Oh God.
And you can just hear.
At this point, how late is it? Has Sapphire
indiscriminate
started going to
raccoon
sleep
noises.
yet, or is she still trying to go back to the book and be like, "Tell me your secrets"? Literally.
Well,
So
she missed.
so yes.
Someone hasn't been paying attention. to
So something impacts right over your head. You have a split second to react. You are not fully in there. It will take you another moment to get in. Just your head is poking through.
Lessla.
I wanna get all the way through.
Okay, you start forcing yourself through.
Lessla.
Okay,
Actually,
I need to roll for how much damage a shoe does.
improvised weapon.
Improvise
How much
weapon.
HP does a raccoon have?
Like,
Not a lot. Yeah, it's 1 plus or oh, jeez. Cheese?
Yeah.
You turn back into Cheese, and she does enough damage to knock you out of raccoon form.
Shit.
Cheese, you are now sitting there. Your face is poking through Laura's tent.
Do I see any?
You have tied. No, I said just your head. You untied one string. Your head is the only thing that can fit through. You are now stuck head first inside Laura's tent.
Yes.
The
and
rest of you hanging out.
As soon as the ear spinning stream happened, Lessla made her way over, and now seeing the cheese's
As
body.
everyone is coming out of their tents, they do see suddenly the lower body of a cheese spring out of the tent.
And a couple of later, Corvus arrives because he would have heard it too.
Yep.
Who all is running?
I ran.
Just like
Lessla
I
looked.
probably get to hear and then see cheese. I'm like, it's cheese.
Lessla has no idea what's going on as she sees that it's cheese, and she will gently grab the tail that's sticking out and pull on it and says, "What are you doing?"
There is an audible squeak.
There is a returned audible squeak.
Yep.
Can I please have a book?
Cheese, please get out.
Lessla says is, and what book would cause you to make this much of a ruckus?
I always make this much of a ruckus, Lady Silverster. You should know this.
Yes, but you usually don't involve other people screaming in your ruckus.
I guess.
Good
night.
Just mostly in
Sleep
shock.
Cheese just scoots back out of the tent.
So, Cheese, you only untied the one thing. You are going to need help to extricate yourself from the tent.
Yeah.
Laura, can you untie the tent, please?
Laura very cautiously creeps over and undoes one of the laces so that you can pull your head out. Still very much confused.
Yes. After she is out, Lessla will look at Laura and say is, "What book does Cheese wish to borrow?"
It's not important. Not at all.
Lessla, still not with her glasses on,
Laura
so
looks very uncomfortable.
raises an
That's what
eyebrow
you see.
and says, "One moment. Cheese, would you please walk over there?"
Where?
She points over to Sapphire.
I don't think the lack of cheese is gonna change.
Okay.
Oh, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sapphire.
Hi, cheese. What were you doing?
She's
I
had a
wasn't
boot
trying
print
to
on
set
her
up.
face.
Yeah. Laura kind of threw a shoe at me while I was a raccoon. It was not very nice of her.
I mean, I'm glad it was a shoe and not something else.
We saw how she threw a dagger earlier. I'm genuinely surprised she hit me with it.
Lessla, while they're having that conversation, is going to look at Laura. She's going to not like get down on her knees, but she's going to like lower her form as she like looks at Laura and says, "Laura, may I see the book?" And she's going to have a very stern look on her face.
The immediate no.
Do I notice like a rucksack in the back? Like that's
You notice you notice a pack, yes.
I'm gonna mage hand the pack and open it.
It is drawn tight.
Oh, it's drawn tight. God damn it!
Yes.
I am so glad Lesla's on my side.
Hang on. I'm rolling a D100 to see if Sapphire knows the author. Yep.
Lessla says this. "And why can't you show me this book?"
Can you please just get out of my tent?
Well, technically, I'm not inside your tent.
I'm not inside your tent.
Laura
Like,
just fucking ties the tent back up, like, fuck this.
she could.
This poor woman.
Reminded that Lessla is 17.
Yeah.
I'm not in your tent.
Leslie
These
says,
are like the only two people she will not say a word about this to, because one is a child, the other might as well be.
it says this. Laura, you will tell me, or I will take the bag that I see there, and I'll open it for the entire camp. If need be, I can roll intimidation.
Man, Lessla really out here, clearly the best at making friends.
She's not.
Sarcasm.
Go ahead and roll.
Advantage.
That is a
No,
16.
not advantage.
Oh, not
Okay.
advantage? I'd give it
No.
that.
Not advantage.
That's a 16.
Okay. I need to...
Oh boy.
Laura's gonna find someplace else to hide the books, probably in someone else's things.
Sapphire.
So, Laura very sheepishly, clearly not happy about this, reaches in, pulls out one of the books, not looking, just pulls out one of the random books. Sapphire, you are greeted by the...
Sapphire?
no, sorry. Lessla, you are greeted by the title, The Unchaste Lady.
Lessla sees the and kind of rubs her eyebrows and says, I've read that one. As she then looks back to Cheese and says, you can't read those books.
Why not?
Is that what you were trying to go in there for? A book?
Lessla looks to Laura and says, I understand now. Please do try and keep those well guarded.
She nods vigorously and steps it back in the bag.
Cheese is pouting.
You got a sapphire right there.
Laura does actually seem a little bit relieved.
Sapphire.
Yeah.
How'd you pronounce his name again?
Val.
Valhalaria?
Valhalaria
The
the
Vaunted.
Vaunted.
Sapphire. Do you know who Valhalaria the Vaunted is?
I know they're an author.
What type of books do they write?
Lessla will look to Sapphire and will just shake her head.
Moving
Those are the
so
books
Lessla can't see Sapphire.
Here's the question: Does Sapphire want to be just a little bit of a troll and say, "Go ask Lessla"?
Because Laura has a lot of books written by that person, and she's not letting me borrow any of them. And it looks like she's read all of them like 1,000 times.
Oh.
And she has like 6.
Everyone in the camp can hear this, including
Sapphire
Laura.
Yeah.
Not gonna admit anything verbally. She knows Cheese can read her lips, so she moves into a position where like no one can see her lips but Cheese, and will just mouth its explicit content.
What's explicit?
What does that mean?
You forgot who you're talking
Yeah,
to.
that's fair. That's fair.
Mhm.
Books where people mate.
Well,
There's not a lot of mating going on.
that's so boring.
You hear a thud inside Laura's tent.
I come because he's
You
like,
have no idea what Sapphire told Cheese. For all you know, it could have been like an encyclopedia.
Corvus has come
It's
into the
so
fray to see
boring.
what the fuck is going on. Like, he's in the center of it now, just around this time, like, looking between Cheese, looking between Lara, just...
in Faerun would anybody want to read about that? That's just boring. It's just like
Sapphire
sitting
just
at
kind of shrugs. It's some people's cup of tea. Some people like it, some people
terrible
don't.
cup of tea. That's not even tea. That's just leaf water. It's just water with like a single leaf in
It's
it.
hot leaf juice.
I
Nice.
can
Hot
agree
leaf
with
juice.
Lessla doesn't know whether to be relieved. That's how Cheese views it,
Again,
or
you don't know what Sapphire said.
no, we
You
don't. But
think
we
that
hear
Laura-
what Cheese is saying.
Yeah.
Laura, I don't know what you're so hung up about. That just sounds incredibly boring. I
There's
don't want to
no
read those books
response.
anymore now, anyways.
Does she look okay?
There, you can't see inside the tent, but there is no response.
Sapphire's
If
just.
you would have just let me borrow one of the books, none of this would have happened.
Cheese, look on the bright side. At least you didn't get to read a boring book.
Oh, poor Laura.
I suppose. I don't want to borrow your stupid books anymore. You're safe.
Of course, like, actually, because he arrives to Lessla, who he knows to be emotionally detached. I'm guessing it's settled then.
Yes, very much so. I think we should let Laura cool down for a bit.
Apologize.
You can apologize tomorrow. I don't think she's available for an apology right now.
Let us just
No.
say that she is probably redder than the hells themselves at the moment.
The hell's
I can
red?
think of a good apology, Bug. I need
At
to
the-
think of it.
At the very least, awareness is.
I'll keep an eye out in case any travelers come to poke their nose.
Mm-hmm.
There was, well, I'm pretty sure she woke up a flock of birds.
Uh-huh. Lessla will nod and then go to Cheese. Why were you trying to take one of Laura's books?
I was curious, and she wasn't letting me read them.
Why were you trying to read them?
She was being very stingy. And I wanted to know what those books were like. But now I just found out that they're really boring, so I don't want to know what they're like anymore.
Can we please keep on the theme where like no one knows what Sapphire told Cheese?
We can infer.
We can infer, especially because...
Anyone who doesn't is Corvus.
Yeah. Lessla says is, I don't know what you are thinking, but I don't even want to begin explaining.
I've lived in the wild my entire life. Do you think I've never seen...
It's,
I go out in the woods all the time. It's not boring.
it's a bit more than that, but all right.
I did not plan for this.
I don't understand.
Why you put it here?
You put it here. You put it here. And now we follow the logical outcome is where we are
Look,
right
My
now.
brother
forgot
in
to
Christ,
account
you
for
opened the
cheese.
door.
I
simply
forgot
let open the
to
floodgates.
account for Cheese.
Lessla,
I will
that's-
never make this mistake again.
You won't. You'll make it many more times, and it will be hilarious.
Yes, I will.
Like I said to Corvus, welcome to the flood.
Yes,
I love this.
Lessla will just take a deep breath as she it is it's hard to explain without sounding vulgar.
Lady Silverster, I genuinely... want you to look me in the eye. When has that mattered to me? Never.
All right, and then Lessla will fine then. Just come here.
Mhm.
And she's like
Okay.
gesturing for you like to bend down so she can actually whisper into your ear.
Cheese will bend down.
And Lessla will explain in almost graphic detail a passage from the book.
Oh. Oh.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's a very exciting boring for cheese.
I suppose I don't get it.
That's understandable. All things considered. Look, the only reason I know these things is because I was taught them. As part of my education.
I
And
don't know. It seems simple enough.
Sorry, it caught me off guard. Whew.
look, sometimes the exhilaration comes from imagining yourself in those positions, as well as in the current situation. Now, imagine that you are a somewhat sheltered person, say, raised in a girls' school, and not experienced to much of nature's bounty. Now imagine if you could put yourself in a more exciting situation. That is the point of those authors' writings.
Oh. Well, I suppose then if it makes her happy.
I think it's a little more than that, but we'll go with it.
I think I know what I'm going to get her as an apology now.
I'm scared for Laura.
Cheese. Whisper it to me.
I don't know. I've got all these shinies and I don't know. Can you buy books with shinies?
You can.
You can inlay books, yes.
Well, I wanna get her a new one. If she likes them so much.
Well, I just imagine that parent face. That.
Lessla.
I can see there's a good intention there, but
The good intention. Look, Cheese. Generally speaking, when you get these types of books as a gift for someone, and you give it to them, some can view it as an intention to want to do what's inside the book. So I would not.
Then I'll write a note that says, I don't want to do this with you.
That
I just
may
thought you might like it.
that may come across as rude.
She just shrugs.
Okay, we will talk about this more some other time. For now, For now, let's just all
People
go to
don't
sleep.
tend to like apology bugs. I think this is better.
We will talk about this when I am not. And she just starts walking away.
Night.
So,
I don't understand.
of course, who's just been standing there the entire time.
I Corvus?
I'm guessing it was something embarrassing.
I don't understand why it would be embarrassing.
Some people are embarrassed to like that kind of thing.
Completely
Okay.
natural.
What is it?
It's sex.
The way Cheese just... I was gonna try and be
Thump,
like subtle with it.
Thump inside Lara's chest.
I mean, yeah, right outside her chest.
Wait,
I mean,
thought
there's another thump as Lesla's head is hitting her own book. As she's like, she was trying to be gentle with everything, and Cheese is just a wrecking ball.
Jesus, Cheese.
I was gonna be subtle, but then Cheese just said, "It's sex."
Corvus like thinks for a minute and goes, like that. He kind of like looks at Cheese, and she just says very loudly and abruptly, because he didn't expect her to just shout it like that, and goes, nods. But you can see on his face, his look of like, it's a similar response to Cheese's, which was like the, why would someone read about that? It's kind of boring. Because he doesn't get it.
Well, sometimes you need to be taught.
I don't know. I'll just... Maybe before I get her the new book, I'll just read it for myself and then I'll get it to her.
Right.
And I'll understand.
It's marketed towards lonely home wives.
Yep.
Like all those Fabio novels.
Well,
Fabio novels?
if I may ask, Miss Cheese, that you keep your startling people to a minimum.
Oh,
For the rest
I
of the day.
know. I don't know. I just get so curious.
Lara's never gonna trust a raccoon again.
Lara's never gonna
Every
trust a
raccoon
woodland
she
creature
sees,
again.
I'm gonna look at in terror.
It's like she can turn to anything.
Ugh.
Every bird, every squirrel, every friendly dog.
Well, I can't turn into birds yet.
She doesn't know that.
Animals used to be cute, now they're terrifying.
Welcome to the life of-
Welcome.
Welcome to the life of being with a druid that has no boundaries.
Yeah.
The thing is, that's just like standard raccoon behavior.
It is standard raccoon behavior.
Yeah.
I'm taking this.
Anyway,
Raccoons, the only animal
well,
that
I
can.
think this is where I'm gonna call it for tonight.
All
Everyone has a
right.
long rest. Everyone has a long rest. I'm guessing no passing travelers. Come back.
No, this has not been a well-traveled road as of late.
Cool beans.
All right. With that, we will call it here for today. As always, have a good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are. And stay frosty. For those of you watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and ring the notification bell to get more content like this in the future. If you wish to support us, our artists, or the channel, please view the links down in the description below.